Hey, what's up, everybody? Mikey Wudz here. I'm the man behind the cam with Freshest. Today, I'm heading out here to the paint shack to go live for you and paint up a street style nature scene. And I'm gonna explain to you everything you need to do it, and then we're just gonna do it. So hit that subscribe button, turn them alarm bells on, and let's go paint. First of all, you need your respirator to protect yourself from the paint fumes. Then you need your poster board. That's what I paint on. Usually a 14 by 18 sheet of poster board. Obviously an old metal lid for my planet here. This is my cloud stencil. Just take a piece of poster board and rip it up or cut it with scissors, whatever you gotta do. I got a lighter. I got a palette knife. Now you could do the same work from what we're gonna do with the palette knife with an old piece of poster board, but palette knife's pretty affordable and pretty easy to get to, and if you're gonna spray paint art, you need one. Just some more scrap poster board, magazine paper. This here be my tree tool. I just kind of folded it up like that and put a little dent in it so it can hold the paint right there, and that's how we're gonna make the trees, you'll see. And then I just got a couple sponges. So that's all you're gonna need to make this painting, except for the spray paint, of course. And let's get started. Double check. Make sure you can see everything the right way. Yep, looks good. So, first things first. I'm gonna put my respirator on. I guess if I'm gonna talk you through this, I'm gonna have to just let the fan blow the fumes away from me. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of go around our stencil, and I'm gonna have some mountains right here, so I like to put a little extra pizzazz where my mountains are gonna be. Also gonna put a little bit of rocks and stuff right here, so we'll put some pizzazz right there too. Put a little purple for my mountains and my rocks. Go back and make sure they get some yellow on them. Now we're gonna take our bowl off and we're gonna make our planet. What's up, Aaliyah?
It's going.
Everything look good?
Yep,
Cool. I got Aaliyah checking in on me, making sure the feed's working right. Whoop. There goes Aaliyah. She's a goofball, but we love her. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a little bit of shadow back here before I even hit it with my paper. Let's see what happens with that. Crumple up my paper. Now I like that, but I don't quite love it yet. I think it needs a little bit more yellow on there and a little more purple. So I'm going to just spray that on my paper, and I'm going to do this. And it's kind of cool when you do that because it kind of 3Ds it a little more also. Looks good to me. So now we need a bit of shadow on this side. Light shadow, I should say. Let's put a little more shadow back there. And then fire. Give that just a second to cool down a little bit. And we'll put our planet stencil on. This part, just watch. There's no point in explaining it, just watch it. Try to just Let these colors morph together like that. And then, of course, some stars. Nice. Beautiful. Let's throw a little more fire on it. Boom. So, what are we gonna do next? We're gonna take our cloud stencil. We're gonna cloud it up. Cloud stencil does a lot of things. One, it makes it look super cool, but number two, it puts a little bit of distance so that this part of our painting kind of sinks off into the background. Now for this one, we're gonna throw a little bit of colorful clouds. Pretty, right? I thought it was. Let's flip this cloud stencil over so we got some stuff going the other direction. There we go. Now we'll go back over it with some white. To kind of tone it down a little bit, cloud it up. So, the way we're making our mountains here is we're going to go ahead and we're just going to spray the paint directly onto the paper and then use it like a paintbrush. Got to put a little paint on there to make it a paintbrush. And then just try to pull it around and just kind of move that paint around and make it look as cool as you can. Do your best. Get a lot of different jags and points on it. And just grow them mountains. Be afraid to get a little bit of paint on your hands. Gotta let these mountains grow. We're not gonna go too far on the edges because we're gonna be covering that up anyway. But you gotta go over there to make it look right. Trust me, you want a few layers in your mountains like this. Like go back over and add a little darker area right there. Make sure you get a few layers on there where it starts to give definition to them. They start to pop out and look a little more like mountains, don't they? Go back and try to get a little bit of detail on there where some of the paint got a little funky and moved around on you. Beautiful. Now we'll go back with our palette knife. Put a little bit of clear coat on there. Whoop. we'll add some highlights to it. Gotta have these highlights. They make a huge difference on this deal here. And then you can go back in some of your spots that kind of goofed up on you. You can use your highlights to fix that. Try to get a little bit of highlights going in both directions, but kind of put your focus on your highlights to one side. That way it kind of gives a shadow side to the mountain. And this part just takes a little bit of practice, or a lot of practice, and you just got to kind of mess with it until you sit back and say, you know what, I like the way that looks. So you know what, I like the way that looks. Now we're going to go back, and first off, I'm going to put shadow. And I'm going to use that to make a bit of mist. Sink it back a little bit more. And then I got to shadow it. And I'm going to go ahead and put this all the way down to here. I gotta let that dry a little bit. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just add clouds, throw a distance on it. And don't really worry about what you're doing right here. Them clouds ain't gonna hurt when you go back and put some different paints on it. So just cloud the whole thing up. That way you don't have an area that doesn't have clouds. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to make our first set of trees. Spray the black paint down into there, and that's why I made that tray. So then you want to go ahead and take kind of a junk piece of poster board and let it start streaming out on there. That way you kind of get a feel for how fast it's going to stream. And then you can just start making a tree branch, and then just make another one and another one and another one, and just grow a tree. Let it grow, let it grow. Cool. I like that one. Now we're going to go ahead and put a tree on this side. And it's okay to just have the trees moving from the other outside of the picture like this, because, you know, if you ever sat with your camera and took a photo, it'd be the same kind of thing. Right? And we're not trying to make the most beautiful picture here at all. We're just trying to make something look cool. Some spray paint art. Use some pretty colors and make a pretty cool design. So now we got a couple trees. Let's see what we got going on down here. We got this dried out yet? Is it dry? Oh, we just dried our tree. And it's kind of cool. You see how the color from the background is popping through, and the trees are just gonna kind of highlight themselves. So we really love it when we got it easy like that. The trees highlight themselves. How much easier could it get? So right here, I'm gonna have a little lake. A little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this. And then I just go back. Don't worry too much about this part. It's there. It's cool. We're gonna encapsulate it in some rocks. We'll go ahead and just do that right now, so it doesn't look too funky for you. And then this is where you just gotta practice with your palette knife tool, and you'll get the hang of it. But it does take practice. Just let the palette knife build the rocks. Just kind of start to scrape and move it on different sides, apply different levels of pressure on it, and you will get the hang of it. But it does require practice. So what I'm gonna do with my far lake up here is I am gonna put a little bit of waveage on it. You don't have to worry too much about this because this is all gonna sink further and further into the background, but I am kind of I'm a bit of a stickler for details. It's what gets tough for me when I go out and paint live, because I tend to drag my paintings out just trying to make sure that they're detailed. This I don't know. It's just kind of my style of painting. But it's street art, and I really love painting like this. But this kind of painting right here does not require a huge attention to detail. It's more along the lines of moving fast with it, as fast as you can, and making it look cool at the end. Sloppy style, people love sloppy style on spray paint art. But they love the really pretty style too, trust me. So we're gonna go put some water up here, and then we're gonna get some extra on our card and just whoop, whoop. Let's make a waterfall. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You can go back. Don't go back too many times, or your waterfall will start looking like junk. You can go back just a couple times on the waterfall if it doesn't quite look right. Seriously, if you go streaking across it 10, 15 times, you'll end up with the bad looking waterfall. So what I'm gonna do here is I always like to go put a few nice big rocks just to show that there's something holding my waterfall there. Plus, palette knife is one of my favorite things about spray paint art. I really enjoy using the palette knife. So, now we got that. So what's next here? I think what's next is the water at the bottom of it. You know what? Let's get a better piece here. Let's put some water at the bottom of it. I just throw some streaks of paint. And I tend to take, since I got a lot of pink up there, I want to throw a little bit of pink in my water just to make it look cool. A little bit of yellow, but be careful because that yellow is going to start turning my water green. And then I'm going to go back, and I know my waterfall is right here, so I need a kind of a lot of extra white paint right there. Now, that's what we got. That's it. Looks cool, right? Nah, I ain't stopping. I ain't leaving it like that. we got to roll like this. I usually kind of flatten my thing down, and then I just kind of try to work the paint back and forth. That way it kind of looks like wavage. 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 Yeah. I love the water, but where I'm currently at, it's like this area is kind of cursed, man. The river's dried up. Everything's there's just not a lot of water here. So, but my painting's got a lot of water on it, doesn't it? Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit some flamage on it. Ah, my lighter! What's going on with it? Don't tell me. Is it over with? Can't be. There we go. Help me out. There we go. There we go. Cool. So let's get started here on our shrubbery. First of all, I like to use the iron lac on my green grass. It's just the darker color right here, Huey. This makes a good background for shadow kinda, and then Sublime, the light green. I love these two colors. They're my favorite colors for grass. If you use them, you'll know what I mean. And then I'm just gonna kind of take my sponge and I'm gonna kind of get both sides, a little bit of light on one side and a little bit of dark on the other, and then I'm gonna just go whoop 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 whoop, and go over the rocks because we got grass on our rocks too. And then I'm gonna leave some area in between because that's where I'm gonna put some colorful plants or grass or whatever you want to call it. So that's what all that's for. But get clear up here to the stump of our tree. Remember, that's where our that's where our visualization stopped. So let's get some more of this. And let's get some more. Dude, I got this wedge nozzle on that thing, and it just pours the paint out. It's pretty insane, dude. So let's go up here. And then you can go back here. I mean, this is plants. There's plants growing over everything. We've all probably been to the mountains. If you haven't, you better get to the mountains because that's an experience. I need to get to the mountains. I haven't been there in a while. I used to go pretty frequently. One of my favorite places to be. But let's just worry about this spray paint art right now. Let's get up here to that tree. Let's do that. Cool, man. I think I like it for now. That's where I wanted it to be right now. And we're gonna go ahead and flip this poster board over. And what color are we gonna use for our tree? For the trees, we're gonna use punk, eggplant, and smiley face yellow. I think that's our tree colors right here. And we're gonna do kind of the same thing. We're gonna spray this, and then we're gonna overlap it just a little bit with the pink, and then we're gonna overlap that just a little bit with the smiley face yellow. That one's got a cap that just it puts it out there. Then we're gonna take our sponge and just kind of soak up some paint and see what happens. Cool. What do you think? Does it look cool? I think it looks cool. Spray paint tree. It's gotta look cool. There's no right or wrong way to do this, really. Just put some leaves on a tree. I mean, my colors are kind of mixed up together quite a bit in there, and it looks a little bit muddy, but I kind of like that. Usually on my other paintings, I take the time and go put very small individual leaves on them. But for this instance right here, I'm going to show you this way too. Now, if I'm really cooking on it and trying, I could probably paint this in 15 minutes or less. But I'm not doing that right now because I'm doing a bit of explaining things to you. But that's probably your goal. I mean, 15 minutes, it takes a little bit to keep people's attention for 15 minutes these days. Especially if they're just walking by you on the streets, or if you're at the carnival where they got all these other things going on. You know, they got their wristbands on and they're worried about riding rides and stuff. They want to watch, but at the same time, they're too busy for that. So try to keep it to 15 minutes or less, and bam. Then where we left that space over here, and just go ahead and move it up into some of the other spots. We'll do that. Kind of make a move. We're gonna make movement with our plants. That's part of the goal here, is to make some movement. Bam. And a little more eggplant, a little more punk, and a little more smiley face yellow. That smiley face yellow has got a it's got a fat cap on it that is just cooking that paint out of it. Gotta be careful with those. So now once we get all this kind of put together in there, and I kind of like this look, kind of looks more like an oil painting in a way to me, I suppose. But I'm gonna go back here now, and I need an extra tree. But I like to put a little bit of treeage. Whoa, slow down, buddy. Slow down. We'll try to just drag some of that paint up, because that got wild on me. Put a couple little trees over here in front of the waterfall, just again, the plants and the trees and the things like that. This is where you get most of your distance on your painting. This is what's gonna make it 3D, honestly. The shrubbery. Shrubbery equals 3D. Shrubbery and smoke. Cloud fog. That's how we 3D our paintings. And you know what? This tree is cool as a fan. It's gonna be good enough for me. I need to get just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. Cool. Now let's put a tree just somewhere over here. We'll put it right here. How about that? Right there it is. That's where it started leaking on me. So that's where I build my tree. Sometimes when I rhyme, it sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. I'm a goofball, man. Shrubbery on my tree is where it's supposed to be. There we go. Now, what I'm gonna do, since I got that, and them need to calm down a little bit, or when I go tapping on my leaves, it's gonna just goof it all up. After today, I will get a different lighter, just so you know. So I gotta go back, and I got that dried down a little bit. I'm gonna put the mist on my waterfall. And of course right here, you're just gonna try it and spray against the card and let the overspray make it for you. Remember, if you think about it, it's mist, so overspray, mist, same thing. And sometimes I like to go back and just kind of the same way we do our stars here, put a little paint on my finger and flick most of it off, even more so than what you leave on there for the stars, and just kind of flick around a little bit, because that gives that bubbly effect. And that's what you're gonna see at a waterfall. So pretty cool, man, pretty cool. So here we go. Now I'm gonna go back here. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of clear coat around here. And this is where I'm gonna make some rocks that kind of go through our plants, because the rocks are going to be sticking out, right? So we need a few rocks sticking out of our plants. And again, just let the palette knife do the work for you. And this again will also set back and add more depth and draw you in, because all that stuff now that was already there is kind of in the background. So boom, that looks good enough for me. Oh, I need one more right there. One more, one more, one more, one more. That's kind of how I am with my rocks. Like I said, I really enjoy my palette knife tool, and I love the look that it gives to it. So we need to now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try to leave just like a little bit right here to separate it. Like this is where our lake is. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of cloudage right here. That's kind of what you would imagine seeing when you were walking up on a lake. And then I'm just gonna go bam. And then I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And while I'm letting that dry, spray paint art, it has to have some stars. So I'm gonna go back up here and I'm gonna start adding some stars. Be sure when you're making your stars that you're watching your poster board, because that stuff will leak down on you. It'll drip all over your painting, and it just, you don't want it to happen. Because then you sometimes either got to try to fix it, or just leave it and hope it doesn't look too terrible. So let's put a star right here. Just a small one. Oh, again, same with the plants, you can use stars to make distance too. Right here, this star is going to add a little bit of depth to the painting. Just makes it more 3D. So I got those two. Now I'm going to go and put some shooting stars. Just fold it up, close it off, keep it open. I just kind of just grab it, and whether it's closed off or opened up, I don't really worry too much about it. Sometimes it's just paint. You know me, I like quite a few shooting stars on my paintings. Put as many as you want. Kind of try to group them around like that because it makes it just look cool. Let's try to get a couple smaller ones. Get the smaller ones, you want to close it off and just barely tap that valve on that spray can. Barely tap it. So they got some, they're not super bright, but they're there. So now I think I like where I'm going with my stars and with my shooting stars. What I need to do here is I need to go back and we'll throw some eggplant. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Huh, do I want to make these trees the same color as those? Yeah, I think so. We'll try to stick to the same kind of color palette here. Eggplant, punk, and smiley face yellow. And I'm going to grab my leaf maker here. And this time I'm doing it a little different. I haven't really hit the yellow yet. I'll get the yellow and I'll go back over it here in just a second. So I can put some yellow on there too. We're just gonna do this, and then we'll go back and put some highlights on it. That's part of why when I'm painting, I usually take my time with this part, and I do each color separately, and I get a pretty cool effect usually. So this is giving me a bit of a muddy mess, but I'm gonna roll with it because it does look kind of cool. Make sure you get some highlights on there that show that it's a tree and it's got a lot of leaves on it. This is what we're doing here. But I gotta do something here to kind of separate these trees from the rest of it. So I'm gonna go back. I don't like the way that's looking. It's okay to not like the way it's looking. Just pretend like that's how it's supposed to be, because that is how it's supposed to be. You're just not supposed to just make it perfect. You're supposed to be doing art here, and it's supposed to end up perfect. Part always using all the same colors for my shrubbery and my tree leaves is what you're seeing right now. It's kind of hard to define between the two. What is what here? I like that look though. That looks cool to me. That is a luscious tree. Luscious, luscious, luscious tree. Boom. We're gonna leave it just like that. Now, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go back with that color right there, and I'm going to put some extra dots of shrubbery around here. And now you see how those are kind of popping out from the rest of it? That's the purpose. That's the point. Anything to add more definition to it or depth to it makes it more 3D. Boom. I like it. One more. So now I'm going to flip this back over and get my Sublime and my Huey Green back out. And I'm going to go back down here where I just put this fresh new spot and put some shrubbery on it. Shrubbery, shrubbery, shrubbery. Bam. Now I'm going to take this time right here and I'm going to put some birds up here. Now for my birds, again, I'm going to just spray it in here just like I did my my trees. And I'm going to leak that down there. Then I'm going to just go and I'm going to dot, and then I'm going to kind of whoop it out. And I got a bird. It's kind of got some funky wings, but he looks cool. I like it. Bam. There we go. 3 birds, just about right. I kind of like the way they look with their wobbly wings. My wobbly winged birds here. So now, take my card again. You know what? Let's go back up here and let's throw a little bit of green spots around too. Kind of went overboard with but to me that's like that's oil painting. That's class. We got class on our painting. I paint with class, guys. So let's go eggplant, honk, smiley face yellow. And then I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna just add some bushes down here. Most of my paintings, I sit there and I take my time to make blades of grass, and then I go back and make pretty tulips, and I put some work into that. I kind of like this. Go back and I'm gonna hit it with some brighter yellows so it doesn't look so dull. Boom. Now, of course, gotta sign it here. MW. Arrow pointing up. 2 circles. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna add some rocks in here. So, now, a couple other things I like to do here. Let's throw some tulips on here. Bam. We end up putting tulips on them. We might. Remember, I'm painting a class here, not really in a big hurry, just trying to make sure it looks good at the end. Trust me, I need some more practice if I'm going to go out and try to paint one in 15 minutes, because I haven't done a 15-minute painting in a while. There we go. Now that looks pretty. Pretty. So what are we gonna do here? Leave it like that? You know what? I do need to put just a little more pop to it down here. And you kind of go around where your plants are. Try to put a little bit of grass right where they connect, because that makes them build out, and again adds that 3D-ness that we're looking for. Bam, 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 bam. You know what? Perfect. I like it. I think it looks good. So we're just gonna clear coat it. Call this one good. We've been working on it for a while. So and of course, after this, there's only one thing left to do. Get my lighter to work. That's the one thing left to do. Well, lighter ain't working. So let's check it out. Let's see what we ended up with here. Hope you like it. Well, that's it, guys. I mean, that's it turned out to be a beautiful painting, kind of sloppy style, street style art. I see I got a couple likes, and I hope you hit that subscribe button. I hope you turn them alarm bells on and stay fresh.